Inefficiencies around purchasing materials for your jobs are killing your margins. So let's talk about how to fix that. In the skilled trades, materials are one of the largest line items on your P&L. For most companies, that's somewhere between 15 and 30%. So every single dollar counts, and you have to be efficient with it. You have to figure out, how can I drive the best value? How can I drive the best timing? How can I drive the right terms? What can I do to make this huge chunk of my P&L efficient and as lean as possible so that more money can float to my bottom line? There's two different sides of this problem. One is part availability and two is part price. So part availability, that one's kind of straightforward. Like, hey, I sold this job, but I can't get the part for 2 weeks. The second is pricing. Is the pricing what I need it to be? Can I save a point here? Can I save a few points here? How often are we negotiating? How often are we looking at pricing? And either one are these sort of like hidden silent killers. So here's how to solve for these problems. We've got three different ways. One is going to be pre-planning jobs. Two is stocking your trucks with high-use parts. And three is keeping inventory visibility across shops and trucks. So pre-planning jobs. We should know what we're going into when we're going to do that job. The way we handle that is we don't schedule jobs without a material list. We don't call the customer. We don't mark it as sold. Like, we need that material list so that we can properly pre-plan that job. We can't be making a dozen supply house trips every day there's a job. It has to be smooth, it has to be efficient. We want to go out with the right stuff. There's a ton of different ways to do this. The easiest and most straightforward is just write it down. Aside from just being more organized, it helps you to figure out your timing. The second one is stocking trucks or your shop with high use parts. This solves for two of those problems. It solves for the part availability. Like, if you are using a lot of parts, you'll have them on hand. This also helps with purchasing power. Like, we buy 5,000 to 8,000 SKUs a year. But what we have found is that 50 of them to 100 make up the bulk of our purchasing. So that could be something like copper elbows. And the reason this matters is when you know, hey, I buy 10,000 copper elbows a year, you can start negotiating for copper elbows. You can go get alpha for that thing because you're buying so many of them, and it's also probably pretty predictable. One of the fun things about operating business in like now versus 10 years ago is the access to online suppliers that are driving real cost efficiency and just like better part availability. It's really common now that we're buying stuff online, whereas like 10 years ago, that was not a thing. So the way that our system works is most of the work is inside the pre-planning jobs stage. A technician or a salesperson is going to go out to someone's home. We're going to look at the job that we have to do. We're going to make a really good material list. And then that list of materials goes to our purchasing team. You want someone else to look it over and say, yep, this makes sense. This looks like this fits. Once the purchasing or whoever's doing this purchasing gets that list, they go out and source the supplier. But a lot of times we just like to go out and look. So, hey, we've got this faucet. I'm going to check WeSupplyTrades.com. We're going to try to find the best pricing and the best availability. And then we go ahead and make that purchase and we communicate with the team, usually through notes on the job file in the CRM. And you get a lot more clarity from like an online supplier than from conventional suppliers, we found, just because that's their whole job. So that's our process. And that's why we're a big fan of leaning on suppliers who aren't going to waste our time, but who are also just going to like drive good pricing and fast. Having really like quick access to materials is important. So being able to find efficiency through frequently bidding and getting jobs done fast is a way that we've really continued to grow. And being able to dial in our supply chain and push faster and better margins drove the business forward for the next 4 or 5 years. And like we started the video, materials and equipment is 15 to 30% of your total cost of your business. So it has to be efficient and it has to drive the business forward. Otherwise, it's got to get out of here. If you want to hear more about WeSupplyTrades.com, just click the link in the description and you will get 20% off your first order with code OWNED20. We Supply Trades, finally, a supplier who actually gets it. Make sure you like and sub for more.